All right. All right. I'm trying double configuration tonight. Let's see how this goes. I got the Instagram up here. You can kind of see the phone outline there. And then I got YouTube here. So let's see. Moving up in the computer game, I guess. It's kind of weird to look at two different plays at the same time. But we're going to try. All for bowling, right? All this is for the love of bowling. You know, it's really funny because I think about this stuff all the time. Like I'm constantly thinking about my different projects that I'm doing and things like that. And I'm really putting in a lot of effort because I want this to work out. I'm really trying to make this whole situation work out. This bowling stuff, whatever that means. It's really hard for me to know what that means because I don't know. It's just something I know I got to do. I know I said that I wasn't going to be doing a Monday night roll-off tonight. I thought I had some other things on the plate, but I'm squeezing in a little bit of time between a couple of things before league, which is at 6, so I got some time there, and before walking my little dog. So yeah. Also, this is just for me right now, to be honest. I mean, there's a handful of people that watch, and I appreciate a lot people listening to this. But at the end of the day, I just really love talking about this bowling stuff and hopefully just laying the groundwork for what this is going to turn into. So anyways, I thought just first things first, I'd go over my past week of bowling. In a certain way, it was really good. I subbed last Monday before I did the Monday Night Roll-Off, which I was hoping to have my friend Rob Green be on the podcast, who is a 3-time NEBA winner. And Rob kind of chickened out on me because I think it's hard to get people on camera. It was really funny. I was hoping that would happen, but that's all right. It'll get there at some point. I think I'll be able to convince him to get into it more. But but Monday night was really good. I subbed in for a friend of mine who hurt her back, and I threw a really good series. I think I threw a 6:30 series, somewhere around there. I'm also getting my Wednesday scores confused with my Monday scores. I was trying to work them out in my head before talking, but it didn't really come to me like that. But anyway, so really more than anything, I've been doing well. I've been consistent. A lot of my 180 games are turning into 200 games. A lot of my 200 games are turning into 230 games. I really, first of all, I don't ever count on getting like great at bowling. I don't think I'll be in the winner's circle all that often, if I ever am, to be honest. A lot of this is just for me to have fun, but I am getting better, and for me to make that really next step, and because right now I think I'm starting my ascension into good league bowler territory. Good league bowler territory is kind of like like the bare minimum for kind of like where I would want to see myself go. But to get to good league bowler territory, good tournament bowler territory, my 200s need to become 220s, and my 230s need to become 260, 270s. So we'll see. I feel like I'm making a lot of progress. I definitely feel that there's room for growth. Which is actually something that I think can happen really easily for someone who puts a lot of time into this stuff. Which is there a point in time where you're plateauing and you don't know how to get better, and you're not top of the class, right? And you want to get top of the class, and you're not competing for higher things, but you want to compete for higher things. So yeah, I think it's getting there. It'll be fun to see if it does ascend more. Like I said, I don't really count on it. I think at best, if I'm a bowler who kind of periodically ends up making cuts and cashing out every now and then, I think that's really the best that I feel like I could ever hope for. So speaking of which, something that I know for myself where I'm really needing to start attacking, and I've been talking about this more and more, is my footwork. Right now, And I don't know why. I don't know where it came from, but my footwork is really choppy. It's really like constrained, and I don't know. I don't know if I used to bowl like that. Just to remind everyone, I've had like 2 bowling lives. When I was a teenager, I was a league bowler, and I bowled a tournament or 2, and I was on my high school bowling team, and I was pretty good for a junior bowler. Not the greatest. I won a tournament. Really, that's like the extent of how good I was. But like, now I'm in my second life. I'm in my 40s. Started up again in the last year, so starting at 41 to get this going again. And so this footwork issue, I don't know if I had it before because I'd never seen myself bowl before. My first life was in the 90s as a bowler, so I don't really know. I don't really know if I've always had this problem, and I just need to straighten out. Just like with other things, that as I've come back to bowling, I know that I do this stuff, and I know I have these problems, and as I'm able to film myself, which has been really major, and make changes and look things up and understand things about myself, I'm getting more and more. I'm just getting better and better. So I don't know if it's a dragging issue. Like when I walk, my feet kind of drag. I also walk duck-footed, which I didn't know I did. I think I do that all the time now that I've watched these things. So I think I duck foot when I walk, which is kind of funny. And so it's just something to straighten out and something to get worked out. So I'm gonna hopefully make some videos on that. But it is a big problem. Just because I don't have a smoothness to my walk, and when you're worrying about timing and arm timing and having things sync up and everything, if your footwork is not in line with your arm swing and your positions and things like that, then it can lead to inconsistencies. And consistency is the name of the game. I think it's really easy to get caught up in perfection. In bowling and having a perfect swing and perfect this and perfect technique, but I think ultimately the question is is this a repeatable throw? And having choppy footwork just makes things not repeatable. So that's kind of on my radar. It's something I'll be posting up, and hopefully you can get something from as well. That would be that's also another big part of this thing is sharing my experiences, so other sort of like newish bowlers can also kind of figure these things out and see if they're also having these kind of issues and stuff like that. So all right, so that's that for that. That's that for that. Press there. The next thing is an argument that I've been having with a couple of the better bowlers. One, my friend Rob, as I said, and then another friend of mine, Dennis Bissonette, who just came runner-up in a NEBA tournament. Young guy, really just a tremendous bowler. Just everyone knows and recognizes he has a rising star in this game, and I'm helping him out with some things also. So it's been pretty cool. But this question kind of came up the more I'm using Dark Knight and the more I'm falling in love with Dark Knight, and it's the fact that I'm kind of starting to add more and more pearls / hybrids to my bag. And so Dark Knight is a pearl, Duca is a pearl, the Hustle is a pearl, and I think the Phase 3 is a hybrid, but it's a hybrid sim, so it kind of has a similar snap to it, right? Because that's really the question, is this whole like snapping issue and the angle into a pocket, right? So basically, and this is the discussion, is this whole question of like, I wonder how the boards are going to work with 2 cameras. Okay, so going with my normal diagram of having pins and a lane and your arrows, right? So we have the pins, lane, and arrows, right? Just to give it some sort of clarity. So the general rule of thought is that you want to have like this kind of like really smooth, controlled movement into the pocket. That's why solids are so preferred. That's why people even like hybrids, because it has that movement, as opposed to a let me get the blue pen real quick and not get this one all over everything. As opposed to a pearl, which kind of is a bit more aggressive and a bit more angular. And so you can see with that blue line, if the blue comes through better on Instagram, but a bit more like angular, that it sort of cuts over and cuts across, right? So I personally really like a snappy ball. Dark Code, which I was complaining about last episode, has that same, is supposed to have that same sort of attribute to it, which is why it's known as like a really snappy, very, very, very massively powerful ball. I just don't get that kind of reaction from it, probably because of how I throw. But nonetheless, this idea of an angular shape is kind of like frowned upon in bowling. Now, the reason why I think this question comes up so much, and why, and not even specifically this question, but this concept of talking to a bowler and them being like, that's not the way things are supposed to be. It's supposed to be like this. And anyone who knows me will know that I do not follow supposed tos. I don't like rules. I don't like standards. I'm not down for ceremonies. I think I believe in flexibility and being fluid and letting reality dictate what you're going to do with something. So this question of a snappy ball, and that's not the line you should have. And this was a part of the conversation as I was having with Dennis. He was like, "Oh, I went to this bowlers camp, and they were showing how every strike follows this sort of like smooth pattern in, right?" And they're showing a specific bowler, but I forgot who it was. I forgot the name. But so the problem is, like, what if that doesn't work for you? Right? What if that's not what you're after? Well, what if you don't get the best results out of that? And that's what I'm finding is I get the best results from a snappy ball. When I have a snappy ball, it drives through the pocket in a way that a smooth rolling ball doesn't do. I don't like a smooth rolling ball. I mean, I like it in certain situations, like if you watched my ball review for Dark Knight, and I was comparing it to reality, right? So reality Dark Knight, which is the altered reality, and reality, which is the solid normal reality that everyone knows. And a normal reality gets a great smooth motion in the pocket. I love reality, but reality sometimes is too much. And I want it to go down lane, and I want it to sneak into the pocket. And typically, in the beginning of a game that's on a normal house pattern, I want it to flow through the pocket, and I want it to catch that corner. I want it to get in at that corner. And sometimes with reality, it'll keep sliding, and it won't be able to get in the pocket. I mean, it'll be a little bit flat, but then it doesn't really kick out the action enough, and I leave 7s and 10s. But with a snap, I snap it into the pocket, and it picks it up. So really, the point of what I'm saying is, it's really easy to think there's a conventional way to have to do things, and you have to do things a certain way especially as a new bowler, you have to do things a certain way. But I call bullshit, and instead, and I especially call bullshit because, like, I had my own experience where I was sat down by a bowler, Cliff Wheelock, a local New England bowler who is very knowledgeable and talks and talks and talks. I mean, the guy really talks. So, and we're at a tournament, and he sat me down and talked to me for 2.5 hours about bowling. 2.5. It's pretty intense. And he just, and it's not one of those, like, what do you think conversations? It was one of those, like funnel in the ear, pouring things into your ear. Knowledge. Just knowledge. And so, like, the thing that I kind of got from it is that every time I sort of mentioned something, he would say, not that's the way things used to be done. We do them this way now. No, that's the way things used to be done. We do them this way now. And so the point that I'm trying to make is there's so much different pieces of information that could be outdated or doesn't work for someone or whatever, and I'm always down to hear input. I will hear everyone's input on everything, but like at some point you just have to say you don't know what you're talking about, and I've been having those moments a lot lately, and it's good. I was at this tournament on New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve rather, an eight game sweeper. It was a lot of games, a lot of bowling games, and so like I was bowling with this one guy. In the first game I wasn't doing that good. I think I ended up throwing like a 158 or something like that, and it's just because I was so anxious in a tournament, which is why I'm trying to do more tournaments so that I don't step into them being anxious. Like I can step in being normal and natural and stuff. And so this guy comes to me and he gives me this piece of advice that I know is a bad piece of advice. Like I just know it is. And I totally disregard him. And then the rest of the time I totally outbowled him. I outbowled him by a lot. And it's because he didn't know what he was doing, but he still wanted to give advice. And that's something about this game and being around other people that can really throw off a starting bowler is taking in too much advice. So you know, and it's fine. I'm not even trying to say anything. It's part of the process. It's part of figuring things out. I say listen to everyone, try things out, and then you learn where to say no. But it's just, you know, it's just interesting. It's interesting to see how it goes. So, but I'm gonna stick with my pearls. I like a pearl and I like a snap, and if people have a problem with that, that's on them. So the last thing I wanted to touch on is just something that I not noticed, but just something that kind of came up over the week. So I've been posting my Instagram videos on Facebook also. And one of the videos I've recently posted up was for my ball review of Dark Knight Duca, The Altered Reality. And it got, I mean, it's one comment. But I mean, when you're just starting this stuff, one comment means a lot. One nice thing to say to someone, it means a lot. That's why I even try to put nice comments to things and encourage people. It's great to see people pursuing their dreams and stuff like that. And so, but the comment on my review was very, very, very nice and very complimentary, and it made me feel like I really am onto something, especially with ball reviews. So I'm contemplating if it's something that I need to put more energy into. And by energy, I mean money. And by money, I mean a lot of money. Just something I've been kicking around. If anyone saw the video and liked it and thinks it's something that I should put more energy into, and you really did think it was good and helpful and you learned something from it, then let me know, and maybe it is something that's worthwhile to get this thing going, to put more energy into, you know, my sharing the love of this game and getting more attention, and hopefully maybe turning this into a lifestyle and my career and stuff like that. Even though I'll never make it as a professional bowler, I can tell you that much. But maybe I'm a professional talking about bowling kind of person, you know. So yeah, that's all that I really got. I missed Friday, unfortunately, which was my mid-season championship in my Friday Night League. I got exposed to the COVID, so thankfully I don't think I caught it or anything like that. I didn't show any symptoms or anything, but it just sucked. My team lost. We were in first place, and even though the team that we bowled against bowled really good, I don't even know if I could have made a difference. But anyways, you know, that just kind of happened too. So coming up this weekend on Sunday, I have a tournament I'm going to. I'll try to put some updates and try to catch some videos and stuff like that. Even though I'm not sure if I want to start putting videos on myself quite yet while doing a tournament, just to keep the pressure off myself, unless I can get much better about stuff. But that's this Sunday. That's down in Rhode Island. That the the bowling alley where I first started bowling again, which was AMF Cranston. You can see it in my first videos, in my reels. Really, like, I'd like to think my home away from home. I hope I see some of the people that I got to know there and stuff like that. That'd be really awesome. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. And then next Sunday, I'm going to Schenectady, New York, for a tournament. That's a team tournament with my friend Milton from Milton. What a classic, like, New England person named Milton from my Wednesday night league. This guy really was one of the first people who kind of reached out to me and was very welcoming and gave me advice and stuff like that. I don't always listen to it anymore. He's one of those, like, likes to give advice I'm not that crazy about anymore. But anyways, he's a good guy. But anyways, we're doing a team tournament on the Sunday after, so that's going to be the 30th. Again, hopefully I'll be able to give some fun updates and tell you my experiences. It's always good to get tournaments under your belt. And yeah, that's about all. Thanks for checking this out again. Another Monday night roll-off under the belt. I'm glad I could actually do it tonight. It seemed for a second there that I wasn't going to be able to. So anyways, thanks a lot. Talk to y'all later. Bye.